So this is how to draw a melted zombie skull. First off, I start off by drawing a simple oval shape, which is like a face shape, and then I can rough in the eyes there, sketch, and marking where the cheekbones are, roughly with a pencil. I'm using a small 2B pencil. You can use any pencils, and like the nose socket there, the teeth, just being sketchy with it, trying to work out where everything is, the features of the skull. I want the mouth to be like open slightly, and obviously like just sketching like the drips off there. You'll see this a bit better when I start inking this. But this is the beginnings of a drawing. Any drawing that I do, I always sketch beforehand, trying to work out the ideas. As you can see, I'm just adding more drips there. So when I'm inking, I like to try and do a lot of the outlines first. Still keep it all real sketchy, because you can tighten things up later on. So I'm like marking in like the eye sockets and the nose sockets and all the outlines and the main lines that contribute to the design of whatever you're drawing. So trying to do that. It's important to keep the shape of the skull, but then this is a melted skull, so it's like stuff's melting off it, so it doesn't have to be totally perfect. All you have to remember is that when you're inking, you need to figure out the darker areas, just to give some kind of depth to your drawing. Just marking in the top teeth there. And pencil guides that I did is just like a real rough sort of pencil guide, but you don't really have to follow them. You can change things at this stage. I'd encourage that as well, because it's sometimes you can come up with better things as you move along with the design. So yeah, just like inking in all the drips and stuff, like all the skin and other stuff is all melting off its face. Yeah. Remember to fill in that mouth as well, but we go back to the eyes, and they're like almost like wide eyes really, but probably fill them in later on with darkness and So when you're doing these drawings, it is important to remember, like, you can either plan these drawings out beforehand, little thumbnail sketches. This in itself is a little thumbnail sketch, because it's only like a tiny skull drawing. I may do a larger drawing at some point. In fact, I think I will, because I like drawing all these skulls and other things. So this has given me an idea to draw a much larger illustration and probably colour it in. As I said, I've darkened them eye sockets more just to make the eyes stand out. And there's lots of drips and other stuff. When I darken the rest, I might use like a thicker, maybe a Sharpie marker or something, just to add some thicker lines, which help in the drawing process. And usually like mixing up different ink pens usually looks quite effective, I think, especially when I've done like quite a few drawings over the years now. It's mixing thin and thick lines always really helps the drawing further. So just drawing little bits of hair there, I don't have to draw lots of hair, only like certain areas, like little wispy bits of hair, just sort of like looks effective, I think. and there's a proper zombie skull. It's, well, yeah, just looks like more like a zombie-like, especially with everything dripping off its face and the eyeballs there. Really makes it sort of stand out. But sometimes all it comes down to with these drawings is just spending more time on working on certain areas, and that's a lot of the, you know, the shadows and the things, and like the outlines and things like that. And always remember about any highlights that you need to add, you know, after, you know, maybe you've darkened areas too much. I don't think I did it in this one, but in other drawings I have where I've darkened things a bit too much and they needed to be brought back out with more like white pen or white paint. So there's always that balance you can sort of achieve with these ink drawings. Because I like adding loads of detail, I just like to go back and just mess with the drawings. So yeah. Just a lot of dark areas, just small little details here and there. Just really need just to make the design, you know, stand out. Here I am with a Sharpie, just going in and adding some darker areas just around the eyes, and it really does help. Just brings it all together, I think. I could have left it how it was, but you know, these darker areas with a thicker marker pen just adds something nice to it. And of course you could bleed over different areas and maybe add in darker areas that weren't really there in the first place with the previous ink pen. But as I said, I like to mess around and just add in loads of detail, and you could too, you know, with these drawings. It's entirely up to you. You could follow this, or you could draw your own zombie skull, melting head thing. I will be drawing different variations of this and other types of drawings, and probably show you how to add more white highlights over darker drawings, which should be quite fun. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, cheers now.